leave it to neuroscience news to state the obvious and slap some science on it. Neurosciencenews.com. Partisan media bias influences perception of AI. That's what I'll call it. Their article on neurosciencenews.com under the categories of neuroscience and psychology is titled Partisan Media Bias Shapes AI Sentiment. Partisan Media Bias Shapes AI Sentiment, published on November 22nd, that's today, 2023. Summary. Researchers uncovered how partisan media sentiment influences public perception of artificial intelligence, AI. They analyzed over 7,500 articles from both liberal and conservative media, finding that liberal-leaning media exhibit more negative sentiment towards AI than conservative media. This negativity is partly attributed to concerns over AI amplifying societal biases. The study highlights the significant role media plays in shaping public opinion on AI, especially in the context of political discussions and policy making. Key facts. 1. The study found a notable difference in AI sentiment between liberal and conservative media, with liberal media being more negative. 2. Concerns about AI exacerbating social biases like racial, gender, and income disparities were predominant in liberal media. 3. The research suggests that media sentiment on AI significantly influences public opinion and could impact future political debates and policy decisions regarding AI. Source, yay! Virginia Tech. By the way, I read these cold, so I don't know where it comes from, but it's from Virginia Tech. I'm in Virginia right now, just in case y'all don't know. All right. Continuing. Even as artificial intelligence, AI, becomes embedded into every fabric of our daily lives, from language translation to virtual personal assistants, it continues to be a divisive issue. As its reach expands, Virginia Tech researchers are seeking to understand which sections of society might be more receptive to AI and which sections may be more averse to it. In the recently published research, Partisan Media Sentiment Toward Artificial Intelligence, authors from the Virginia Tech Pamplin College of Business, Angela Yee, Shreyans Goenka, and Mario Pandolare, examined the varied reactions to AI by analyzing partisan media sentiment. Their work was published in the journal Social, Psychological, and Personality Science. The researchers found that articles from liberal-leaning media have a more negative sentiment toward AI than articles from conservative media. In other words, liberal-leaning media tend to be more opposed to AI than conservative-leaning media. This opposition can be attributed to, according to the findings, liberal-leaning media being more concerned with AI magnifying social biases in society such as racial, gender, and income disparities than conservative-leaning media. The researchers also examined how media sentiment toward AI changed after George Floyd's death. What the hell is that doing in here? All right, let me continue. Since Floyd's death ignited a national conversation about social biases in society, his death heightened social bias concerns in the media, said E., a PhD student in the marketing department. This, in turn, resulted in the media becoming even more negative towards AI in their storytelling. Implications for policymakers and beyond. According to Goenka and E., their findings may have important implications for future political discussions around AI. Because media sentiment can serve as an indicator of public sentiment, which in turn can impact policymakers' stances, the partisan media differences observed may subsequently lead to differences in public opinion toward AI. Media sentiment is a powerful driver of public opinion, and oftentimes policymakers look toward the media to predict public sentiment on contentious issues, said E. Perhaps the next step in our research is to see how social media conversations surrounding AI change as a function of the partisan differences we see in our paper. How the data was collected. To examine partisan media sentiment toward AI, the researchers compiled a collection of articles written about AI from several media outlets. The partisan sentiment for each outlet was determined by using the ratings found on the media bias rating chart from All Sides, a company that measures the perceived political bias of content on online written news outlets. A mix of liberal-leaning outlets such as The New York Times and The Washington Post, and more conservative-leaning outlets such as The Wall Street Journal and The New York Post, were sourced. From there, the researchers downloaded articles from the selected outlets based on certain criteria, including the usage of specific key terms such as algorithm or artificial intelligence, as well as a date range from May 2019 through May 2021. With a data set of over 7,500 articles, they performed an emotional tone analysis on each story using an automated text analysis tool. Through this tool, they were able to capture the emotional tone of each article, which is calculated by the difference between the percentage of positive emotion words and the percentage of negative emotion words in a text. This difference is then standardized on a scale of 0 to 100 to produce the emotional tone measure. That emotional tone scale sounds very creepily like the emotional tone scale in the Church of Scientology, but I'm going to pass on commenting any more on that right now. Continuing. Gowenka, assistant professor of marketing, stressed that this research is descriptive rather than prescriptive, and no stance is being taken as to the right way to discuss AI. We are not stating whether the liberal media is acting optimally or the conservative media is acting optimally, he said. We are just showing that these differences exist in the media sentiment and that these differences are important to quantify, see, and understand. About this AI and psychology research news. The author is Michael Allen. Source, Virginia Tech. Of course, you can contact Michael Allen at Virginia Tech, and the image, when you see it from the show notes here on hakuim.com, will be credited to Neuroscience News. Oh, wait a minute. I just made my own image on Canva and put it here, so you're not going to see it unless you use the link to go to neurosciencenews.com. All right, original research is under closed access, and it's titled Partisan Media Sentiment Toward Artificial Intelligence by Jeremy Norman and others in Social, Psychological, and Personality Science. Ooh, there's an abstract. Abstract. Partisan Media Sentiment Toward Artificial Intelligence. Artificial intelligence, AI, is becoming pervasive across society. However, its deployment appears to be a divisive issue. This research examines aversion to AI across the partisan divide. We analyze partisan media sentiment toward AI, a powerful driver of public opinion toward social issues. We conduct a text analysis of media articles on AI. The number equals 7,840 from several liberal-leaning and conservative-leaning media outlets. The results demonstrate that liberal-leaning media show a greater aversion to AI than conservative-leaning media. Furthermore, a mediation analysis suggests that liberal-leaning media are more concerned with AI magnifying social biases in society than conservative-leaning media, which drives the partisan media differences. Moreover, the results also show that media sentiment toward AI became more negative after George Floyd's death, an event that heightened sensitivity about social biases in society. Implications for how these partisan media differences can polarize public opinion and policymaker support toward AI are discussed. And of course, neurosciencenews.com asked you to join our newsletter. Sign up to receive our recent neuroscience headlines and summaries sent to your email once a day, totally free. We hate spam and only use your email to contact you about newsletters. You can cancel your subscription anytime. Neuroscience News posts science research news from labs, universities, hospitals, and news departments around the world. Science articles cover neuroscience, psychology, AI, robotics, neurology, brain cancer, mental health, machine learning, autism, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, brain research, depression, and other sciences. And of course, this article on neurosciencenews.com once again is titled Partisan Media Bias Shapes AI Sentiment. I don't know what I called it again on hakeym.com, but wait, I can look. No, never mind, I'm not going to do that. Wait, what did I call it? Let's take a look. It's called Like It Matters. It is still live right now. I can look at the title. Oh, yes. I titled it Media Bias Influences Perception of Artificial Intelligence. So you can find it on hakeym.com. And there will be the links in the show notes here to the article Partisan Media Bias Shapes AI Sentiment. Published under the categories of neuroscience and psychology on November 22nd, 2023. That's today.